I'm 50 and I've had 4 knee replacements.
4.
50? Yeah. What's something I wouldn't believe about you? Thoraya, y'all like, comment, and please subscribe.
Well,
just hit 25
so
subscribers.
I'm here in public, right? I'm sitting in the middle of Balboa Park.
Let's go!
And when I was about 19, I had anxiety attacks. So I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't want to leave my house. So I had a psychiatrist helping me, and I didn't want to do it with drugs. So he explains to me that long distance running is a really good antidepressant, and I needed one. So I started becoming a long distance runner. But he also suggested that I learn to meditate. So I was a long distance runner for a long time. I ran a lot. It really helped. You know, I started being able to get out and go places. But then I started meditating after a while. I meditated so much. I meditated at least 2 or 3 hours a day for maybe 6 or 9 months. That in my dreams, I started being able to see what was going to happen in the future. I couldn't, I didn't really understand what was going on. I literally also could tell when my sister was going to call me. I could predict things. I literally became psychic. Like, I didn't know quite what was happening because it wasn't predictable. But I decided one day to stop in at the Del Mar racetrack. I was going, wow, this is crazy. And it was a Friday afternoon, and I drove to the Del Mar racetrack. And I sat there, and I go, which horse is going to win? And I looked at the names, and I hid from myself the odds for the horses. And I can't remember the name of the horse, and I just said, it's going to be Thormeister or some sort, some horse. And I'm sitting there, and the horse won. And I'm going, oh my God. And so then I did the next race, and it won. And I won like 3 races in a row, which was, for what I was betting, I won a couple $100. And I go, oh my God, what's going on here? And so I went to the track. I started leaving work early when the track would open.
If this was Prize Picks, they already would have flagged his account down after his third win. His account already flagged.
But then I became sort of crazed. Like, I gotta get a lot of money. I'm gonna help all the kids in the world and stuff. And when I would get crazed about it, I couldn't do it. I had to relax and not care if I really won or not. So I did that for a couple of years. And I won a lot of money. But I decided that it wasn't really that useful, because if I tried to get too much money, it didn't seem to work. But to this day, the last time I went out to one of the casinos, sat there and listened for the horse races and bet on it, I won. Anyway, that's what nobody would ever believe.
I believe him already.
Hold on, let me ask my father to go away so he doesn't hear it.
Well, I say, I believe him.
He doesn't know this either.
You like to tell the truth a lot.
I served overseas in Afghanistan, and I killed a teenager.
Oh, shit.
I can share it. This is anonymous, right?
Well, no.
You won't know my name or anything. You can see my face. I don't care.
It gets a lot of views, though.
That's fine. If people pick me out, I'm open to talking about it. It's unfortunately, it's something I have to sort of come to grips with as someone who has that history. It was like something of an ambush, and it was relatively close to me, like sub 100 meters, so you can actually see it happening, which is why it had a particular impact on me, I guess.
Hey bro, well, wipe your fucking glasses off. Shit.
Essentially,
that shit not uncomfortable.
Laid there on the ground just until he ultimately just died there alone, in the sand at the end, with nobody.
Rest in peace. Damn. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Don't really know what more to say about that without really breaking down.
Even though he was fighting for our country, but damn,
disenfranchised.
At the end of the day, bro,
States, the military.
Them people just trying to survive, just like us, bro.
Especially since I joined the military to get an education. What was the whole point? It was in Afghanistan, and everyone knows how that turned out. It's just do all that, go through all that. To sum it all up, I don't feel very patriotic anymore. That's the reality of the armed forces. You're not really protecting your government. You're advancing the interests of some politicians who don't know what they're doing. So, do you have any other questions or prompts?
I do. I have a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never come across an answer like yours, and I don't think it's because other people haven't been through it,
My
but
fault, bro.
just because people wouldn't want to share it.
Yeah. Like, that's the same with me. I'm actually putting in a special effort to try and come to grips with this kind of thing. So, like it or not, it's something I have to eventually accept about myself, and the fact that stuff like this is happening, stuff like that around the world, it's just
fucked up.
I guess I try not to think about it so you can actually live your life and continue to function.
What's something I wouldn't believe about you?
So I feel like I've always come off as a very positive person, and I consider myself a very positive, optimistic person. I try to always view things in a good light. But in the past couple years, I have started to see the world in a very negative way. I don't want to necessarily say cynical, but very disappointing. And there are moments where I can see that there is light. I can see there are such good, wonderful people, and there is hope. But it's very hard to kind of hold on to that on a daily basis. So I definitely have that deep inside me, and I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really realize that.
Does something specific happen that made you have this new viewpoint of the world, or?
Yeah, so being that I'm Palestinian, the big thing right now, obviously, everything going on in Gaza, that has been weighing on me so incredibly heavily. And it's very, very difficult to have hope in the midst of that and see any sort of light when not only is this going on, but it is allowed to go on for over 100 days at this point. I've honestly lost count. So that's been pretty heartbreaking.
Is your family okay in Palestine?
Yeah, so my family's in the West Bank, not in Gaza. I visited them a few months ago, and they are safe, but of course, we could tell that they were very scared, but trying not to really show it. Of course, there's this constant fear that my family won't be safe for much longer, so that has been really difficult to deal with. So it's hard.
Damn.
I think something that you might not believe is that I was homeless, and yeah, I was really young, but it was definitely like a big part of my life, and not a lot of people know that, but I didn't understand what was going on, like the situation fully, but I understood the social implications of it, and I decided to hide it for a really long time for like the people around me and like my friend groups, and it really like caused a lot of damage doing that. And after that, I was able to kind of like turn it into something really positive, and like now I share it with people, and like it made me a very grateful person and a lot more humble, I would say, definitely. And like I obviously now understand that you never know what someone's going through. You like actually never know, and like a lot of people didn't know for a really long time what I was going through, and it's really easy to put up a front. So it's good to be like open-minded about that.
Yeah.
What's something I wouldn't believe about you?
That I'm a princess.
Like literally?
Yeah,
You're a princess.
I'm a princess.
Princess of where?
I can say it's Orifte, that's how you say it.
What does it feel like to be a princess?
Honestly, because I grew up in it, it's very normal. Yeah.
What's life like as a princess?
Ooh, that's interesting. I think like if you think about it, it depends on where you're from and how they treat princesses. Where I'm from, it's more like,
am I tripping,
we just
bro?
have like certain obligations. Like we have to go to certain things that is happening around town. But other than that, it's like pretty chill.
Do you like being a princess?
I do. I do.
What do you want to say to
I feel like I
a
missed
girl
something.
as a princess of where you're from?
Be you. And just have fun and be kind to other people.
Yeah, I love that. There you go.
I guess you're referring herself to a princess.
I mean, I look like
Yeah, I love that. There you go.
I look like a soccer mom from from Connecticut, but I was an entertainment reporter for 15 years. I met everybody in the world. I met Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and Pavarotti and presidents. I did a lot of theater as well. And Steve
I feel like
Martin
she
wrote a
fucked
play
Paul
called
McCartney
Over
for
the
some
Sun.
reason. Something told me I feel like she fucked him, bro. Am I weird for thinking that way? My fault.
and he showcased it first in Stamford, Connecticut. And so the reporters were invited to come and interview him. And I had a really bad cold, and I was reluctant to go, but I'm like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. So sure enough, I get there. My cold is so bad, I've gone through every tissue I have in my car and the drive down. And somebody asked a question, and he rolled his eyes and looked bored already. And somebody else asked a question, and I finally came up with a question in my mind that I thought wouldn't offend him. And I rose my hand, and he rolled his eyes as if to say, "What have you got?" And when I went to ask the question, a bubble booger came out of my right nostril.
Oh, shit.
And it was so big that it looked like a bazooka bubble, championship bubble. Like if I was in a contest, I would have won. But it didn't even pop. It just kind of floated. I mean, even if you... It randomly happens when you have a cold and you get a little bubble. It's a little thing and it pops, right? No, this thing was like... It was like defied every law of physics that there is. And his eyebrow went up to his hairline, and he tightened his lips to stop himself from laughing. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm looking down, he's looking at me. And we were both kind of on axis with each other, so not everybody could see what was going on. And I went like this, which was the only thing I could think of doing in that moment. So now I have it's all over my face, under my hand. And I said, how did you envision Picasso and Einstein having a conversation in a bar? And meanwhile, I'm reaching down in my bag
trying to get your Kleenex,
search for the only tissue that I got, and I find it, and it's a wet wad of wet tissue, and he's talking and talking and talking and smirking and watching me do this whole thing.
That's embarrassing, bro.
To wipe my face off. And I was literally dying, right? Like
I would hit my head on the wall,
nothing
bro.
I could do other than get up and walk out of the room. So now I got my face kind of over here, and I was going for the sleeve at this point, because what was I going to do, right? And so he keeps talking, and other people would try to get his attention, and he kept looking back at me, like, what else you got? What else you got? And I was so mortified, and my tape recorder was like 20 feet away in a malt box connected, and so I couldn't even get up and skulk out quietly before the thing ended. So the thing ends. I'm mortified. He kept looking back at me multiple times. I jump up, run, grab my material, my equipment, I shove it in my bag, and I go running for the door, and I'm looking down, and I look up, and I literally blocked my exit. He wouldn't let me leave, and he goes, and I'm like, are you torturing me right now? Are you really? And he goes, no, I just wanted to tell you, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That's funny.
So I'm like, okay. And I was literally had nowhere to go, but I was right. But the bubble booger and Steve Martin remains, that one will stay with me past the dementia. I still remember it.
That shit crazy.
I'm 50 and I've had 4 knee replacements.
4.
50?
Yeah. You see? Yeah.
I'm not sure if the hardest part of that to
50?
or the fact that you're 50.
Damn!
50,
You look so young.
You're like she about 30, bro.
Dig it.
Can you maybe share what's been the hardest part of that, or?
Oh God. I would say the hardest part was for more than a year, I really didn't walk more than, say, a couple hundred steps a day. I don't think most able-bodied people really understand what a gift it is to be mobile, to walk, to skip, to hop.
We gotta pray every day, bro.
To be able to get up from the bed and walk to the bathroom, and to be able to walk back. Just these little simple things, simple things. And if anything, at this end of the journey, I'm filled, I don't want to start crying.
Fucking 50 is crazy, bro.
Wow. I'm just filled with gratitude. I'm filled with gratitude for, like today, it's the first time I've been to the park to walk. And the plan had been to walk through museums, and then when we got out here to the piazza, it was just like, what a beautiful day. Like, let's just sit and sit in the sun and stroll around, and you think, I said, maybe this is the part about being 50 is you realize all of the things that you think are so important. It really comes down to just the simple things, which, you know, the breath we take, spending time with someone you love, and the ability to get to and fro.
Was she looking at her hubby? Was she looking at her hubby?
That's the gift of these new knees and turning 50.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was a good ass story, bro. Okay! He got my little chocolate! He got my little chocolate! Okay, OG! He looking like little white chocolate with the flavor. With little flavor tight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Little flavor. Little flavor tight.